Welcome to Next Chapter Living, where every page turns a new possibility.
You know that feeling when it's 4 p.m., the sun's soft, and you realize your yard didn't cost you your afternoon? That's the kind of yard I want you to have.
Here's a simple plan you can use at a showing, at the nursery, or when a landscaper hands you an estimate. No filler, just the things that protect your time and your wallet.
Why does landscaping matter for someone downsizing? Because it determines how you spend your week. A big, thirsty lawn demands hours and bills. A small, smart yard frees up hours and lowers ongoing costs. Simple as that. Think about maintenance time. Swap a large lawn for hardscape and native beds, and you can cut routine yard work by 2 to 4 hours a week. 2 to 4 hours. What would you do with that? Quick, real example. I worked with a couple who replaced about 1,000 square feet of lawn with a paver patio and native plantings. Up front, they paid roughly $15 to $25 per square foot for quality pavers. Yes, it's an investment. But they cut their water bill by about $50 to $70 a month and saved roughly 3 hours every weekend on mowing and edging. Over 2 years, that paid off in time and reduced bills. So, where do you start? I like to think in terms of use, not size. Ask, what do I actually do out here? Coffee and a book? A small table for friends? A place to pot a few herbs? If the answer is mostly low-key living, you probably need 3 things. A usable hardscape area for seating, a tidy low-maintenance ground cover or small lawn patch for curb appeal, and planted zones grouped by water needs. That grouping? It's the secret to cutting fuss. Grouping plants by water needs means your irrigation isn't constantly fighting itself. One zone for xeric or native plants, another for any small lawn or higher water ornamentals. Fewer zones equals simpler controls, right? Let's talk plants. Lean native and salt-tolerant. Kunti for texture, mooly grass for that airy fall color, yaupon holly for year-round screening, and firebush to invite butterflies. Add plumbago or hibiscus for blooms that don't demand non-stop attention. Use ornamental grasses and a 2 to 3 inch mulch layer to suppress weeds and keep roots cool. And prefer containers for delicate things. They're movable and easy to protect before a storm. I remember a client who loved roses but hated the upkeep. We swapped to a couple of potted roses by the door and planted butterfly-attracting natives down the slope. Same charm, fewer chores. Little choices like that matter. A quick note on soil. Much of our area is sandy. That's great for drainage, but not for holding nutrients. A simple fix is top-dressing beds with compost and keeping that 2 to 3 inches of mulch we talked about. It costs little and reduces watering frequency. Irrigation? Don't overcomplicate it. A basic drip system for beds and targeted pop-ups for a small lawn do the job. Expect a ballpark of $1,200 to $4,000 for a professional install, depending on zones and complexity. Programmable controllers and a rain sensor? Worth it. They save water, and they save you from fiddling every week. Storm readiness must be part of the plan. Choose wind-tolerant species, anchor small trees properly, and avoid shallow-rooted heavy trees too close to the house. Secure or stack potted plants ahead of a storm. Little preparation avoids big headaches. HOAs are another reality. They may limit plant choices, turf types, or paver styles. Before you sign, ask for the landscaping covenants and any recent approvals. If you don't, a lovely idea can turn into a rejected plan and extra costs. Trust me on this one. Budgeting tip. Prioritize permanent items that reduce upkeep. A well-built paver patio may cost more up front than a temporary deck, but it avoids staining, replacement, and constant maintenance. Think of it as buying back weekends. Now, when you're interviewing landscapers, use 4 quick, direct questions. Say them out loud if you have to. Ask, show me 3 local projects like this. Then, give me a written maintenance plan and a watering schedule. Next, who's the on-site contact? And finally, do you carry liability insurance and a license? Those questions cut through fluff. Also, get a clear scope of work, a timeline, and payment milestones. Avoid large upfront payments. A good contractor will happily walk a homeowner through choices and show local examples instead of using generic catalogs. Before you leave a showing or nursery, keep a short checklist in your phone. Ask yourself, is there usable outdoor living space? Are plants grouped by water needs? Is irrigation present and are zones labeled? Any standing water or drainage problems? Are trees placed safely for storms? Quick yes or no items help you compare properties honestly. 3 small, concrete actions you can take tomorrow. 1. Measure the outdoor area you care about and sketch where a patio, a planter, or a container garden might go. 2. Visit a local nursery and ask for native, salt-tolerant picks for your microclimate. 3. When you get estimates, insist on references and a written maintenance plan before you sign. A final word on costs and payback. Paver patios commonly run $15 to $25 per square foot installed for durable materials. A simple irrigation system can be $1,200 to $4,000, depending on zones. Those numbers aren't cheap, but when you add reduced water bills, fewer supplies, and hours saved on weekend chores, the math often makes sense for downsizers. Designing a low-maintenance yard isn't about losing green. It's about choosing the right green. Right-sized lawn, smart hardscape, resilient plants, and simple systems protect your time and your afternoons more than any pretty listing photo. If you'd like a printable checklist, the exact questions for home tours, a go-to native plant list, and a contractor interview sheet, visit the show website. I also put together vendor recommendations for Pasco County you can use as a starting point. Design your yard for the life you want. More time on the lanai, less time on the mower. Those choices matter. They pay you back in hours, quiet, and simpler seasons. Thinking about relocating to Florida? I'd love to share local insights, answer questions, and help you understand what life in Pasco County, Land O'Lakes, and Angeline is really like. Visit the show site for the checklist and vendor list. I'm Matthew Troncone, broker associate with Mihara & Associates. Real conversations about relocating, downsizing, and living well.
Thank you for tuning in to Next Chapter Living. Join us again for more stories worth giving. Until next time, let your journey ignite. Live your best life and keep your dreams in sight.